Hey guys, so we have the second free-to-play character announced here coming to the game, and it is Final Form Cooler. So, let's see what they say here. So, 5th anniversary campaign, Final Form Cooler joins the fight as a new event-exclusive character. The event will start soon, so make sure to play and get Android 13 and Final Form Cooler for yourself. So clearly they're coming out tomorrow, 13 and, or sorry, not tomorrow, 2 days from now. Android 13 and Final Form Cooler this week. This reset is when these characters should be coming out. So yeah, a lot of people thought we were going to be getting like Spirit Bomb Absorbed Goku because of the 13. And now that we have Cooler, I'm not really so sure people are still maintaining that prediction, because at this point, it's not just related to the Android 13 movie. Now it's just movies in general. And more so than just movies in general, it's movie bosses or movie villains, right? We have two movie villains here. We have 13, who's obviously the main villain of his movie. And then we have Final Form Cooler, who's of course the main villain of his movie. So, you know, if we're going to take the free-to-play characters and extrapolate the next premium summonable LF character from this information, then I guess looking at these two characters side by side would make the most sense that the Part 2 LF is probably going to be a movie villain character of some sort. So we will see what that ends up being. We could take a quick look at the actual list here of sagas from the movies and go through some of the likely candidates. I am imagining that Part 2 will be an LF. I don't think they're going to change the format and like, oh, you know, they're giving us an Ultra instead of an LF. I don't think it's going to be like that. I think it's going to maintain the same format we saw for last year's anniversary and for Legends Festival, where it's going to be LF Part 1, LF Part 2, and Ultra Part 3. So if that's the case, this should be an LF character. So let's just go with that for now. Clearly, it's not going to be Cooler, and I think clearly it's not going to be 13. So we can write those characters off right away. It's not going to be 13. It's not going to be Cooler. We just got this character not that long ago, and I mean, we're getting a free-to-play 13. Are they going to give us the transformed version of 13 as an LF? Fusion Android 13 anniversary LF character? I'm going to go ahead and say, hell no. That is not what we're getting. Broly from Superhero. Broly from Dragon Ball Super. I would probably say no. I mean, it's possible. This character's pretty old at this point. But I feel like if we're going to get another iteration of Dragon Ball Super Broly, they would make him an Ultra. Because we have this character. This character, by the way, still needs to get a Zenkai Awakening. So I just really don't see them doing another LF version of this character before we either get this character with the unique equipment, or sorry, a Zenkai Awakening or an Ultra version of this character, right? That needs to happen first, I think, before this character gets another LF. What else do we got here? We have Metal Cooler. I mean, I guess I don't think Metal Cooler is a hype enough villain for a headlining anniversary LF character. I would say there's a fringe chance of this. This is not like, I wouldn't like fall over in my chair if it was Metal Cooler, but I would be pretty surprised if it was Metal Cooler. This to me definitely seems to be more like a monthly LF character, Metal Cooler, than an anniversary character. I would kind of throw Bojack in that same bucket as well. I don't think Bojack is like a super mega hype unit or super mega hype character. I'd probably throw him in a similar category as Metal Cooler, where Bojack could probably make a pretty cool monthly LF, but not during anniversary. Janemba. Now, this is an interesting one. This is one I've actually seen a lot of people wanting recently, a Janemba LF or even an Ultra Janemba. And Janemba has gotten nothing. This character has seen no respect whatsoever from this game at all. There's like no way to see like just all the Janembas in the game? Yeah, here we go. We can just click on this. So here are every single Janemba that exists in this game right now. This is every single Janemba character that exists in the game. We have Purple Janemba. This character came out with Red Gogeta. I believe this was fall of 2018. I believe this Janemba released, which was So the game released again like early June, and this banner, I want to say this banner came out like 4 months maybe after the game came out. This Janemba is literally about to hit 5 years old. Then we had the red Janemba who came out next to Green Gogeta. That banner was terrible. Green Gogeta was awful. Like that's probably one of the worst fusion units they've ever released, by the way. This guy was okay. He was decent on release, but I mean, we're talking like pre-second anniversary, right? With this red Janemba. So we're going like almost literally, I think it is over 3 years since we've gotten a Janemba in the game. That is insane. Janemba is not like a small-time villain. Like Janemba from Fusion Reborn, like he's a pretty popular villain character. Super Janemba. I'm really surprised that they have not given us a new version of this character in a long time. Maybe they are preparing us for an LF of this character. Would I be that surprised if part 2 is an LF Janemba? No, I wouldn't. I would say that an LF Janemba for part 2 would be a decent pick. It would not be like super mega flooring, like it wouldn't floor me to death of how hype it was, but I could definitely see it. Wouldn't be completely out of left field. Turles. I probably would say no. Turles, again, to me, feels more like, you know, monthly LF. Honestly, I'd probably put Turles a little bit below Bojack and Metal Cooler in terms of how hype he would be. Not really a huge Turles stan, I guess. I mean, he's fine. He's a cool character, but I don't know. I just feel like he's a worse version of Goku Black. What else we got? We are not going to get, like, Tapion, I don't think, because the same slot last year we had Tapion. And now we're sort of getting to, like, the big boys here. We have, I think there's 2 very obvious selections here that we could potentially see. The first one is this guy, Broly. Legendary Super Saiyan Broly from Z. Not Super, from Z. So this guy came out as an Ultra. I would probably say that when you compare him to the other summonable Ultras that we have in the game, he probably felt like the most underwhelming one on release. Just being fair, right? I mean, is that a wild statement? I don't think so. He felt probably is the most underwhelming Ultra on release. We still don't have an LF version of Legendary Super Saiyan Broly. This is arguably the single most popular movie villain. And in fact, I wouldn't even say arguably. I'm just going to tell you guys, this is the most popular movie villain character that exists in Dragon Ball, period, is Legendary Super Saiyan Broly from Z. So the fact that we don't have an LF version of this character yet is kind of insane. We're 5 years into the game now. But I guess maybe they might be a little bit hesitant to do this just because this guy's not that old. Like, when did this character come out? Like, in October? I think it was October, wasn't it? Let me just see if there's... Actually, I don't think it's going to show this because, yeah, this is the rerun of the banner. I believe he came out in October. So, I mean, what is that? 8 months old is how old this Ultra Broly is. I don't know if they'd want to release a character with an LF and an Ultra variant within 8 months of each other. I don't think they'd want to do that. But it's, again, you look at all of the movie villains, this is the #1 character. Is Legendary Super Saiyan Broly from Z. Then we have the other big possibility. Now, this is a massive, massive question mark. I have no idea if they're even going to consider this. But what about this guy? What about Cell Max? Cell Max, I would call the Red Ribbon Army itself the main villain of Superhero, but the final boss of Superhero is Cell Max, of course, right? I've been saying this since the movie came out a year ago. We are about to hit the 1-year anniversary of Superhero releasing in Japan. Everybody has been screaming from the high heavens that they want Orange Piccolo for part 2 of this anniversary. I think it's a perfect time to release Orange Piccolo. They are teasing movie boss characters here. This is the main villain, or the main boss character of the new movie. They got to find a way to add this character into the game. I don't care what they have to do to not have the main boss character of the newest movie in the game a year after the game came out is kind of insane. There's nothing. At least like Dokkan has an event for the character. Actually, one of the hardest events of the game. And then they added another hard event with him in it. So this Dokkan eventually will get this guy as a playable character. Kind of surprising they don't have him yet either as a playable character, because Dokkan has done giant characters in the past, right? It's not that big of a deal for that game. But Legends has to find a way to get this guy in the game somehow. It's just going to come down to how do they figure out a way to get a giant, because this is a giant character, right? If you guys saw the movie, this is like a legitimate, you know, great ape level character in terms of how big he is. So like this is like Hirudegarn is how big this character is pretty much. So they are going to have to figure out a way to let us control a Cell Max character. I guess it worst comes to worst. Like the absolute worst case scenario is I guess they could give us like a Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 or something where like I don't even know, Cell Max somehow appears in the animation somehow. Like the worst thing that could happen is Cell Max is an animation of some sort, but you can't control him, kind of like how Hirudegarn works for Tapion. When Tapion dies, Hirudegarn comes out and AoEs the enemy team. I could see something similar with Cell Max if they just cannot figure out how to get him into the game. But how hard could it really be? Like, let's just be real. Like, how hard could it actually be to just get this guy in the game, right? I mean, think about how insane a Part 2 banner would be with LF Orange Piccolo. You get this Cell Max into the game, the first ever playable giant character, sparking 1%. And then if they're going to follow the same format as Part 1, then we would also have, on top of that, 2 additional sparkings and then 2 EXs. So that could really, if they do that for Part 2, LF Orange Piccolo, first playable giant character, sparking Cell Max, 2 other sparkings that I guess would also have ultimates because Part 1 did, and then 2 EXs. This anniversary is easily the best ever. Easily. Because no other celebration's ever done that before. 2 banners with 4 new sparkings on them? No, it's never happened before. So we'll see if they do that for this, but I'm telling you guys right now, if that's the lineup for Part 2, if this movie boss sort of hint here with the free-to-play characters is hinting towards an Orange Piccolo for Part 2 and a Cell Max on the same banner, something like that, GG. This is the best celebration ever in Legends. Easy. Like, we need this to happen at some point, and this, I feel like if they don't do it now, it's probably not happening, right? This is the ideal time for this. Orange Piccolo, Cell Max, literally, like, that's the fight. Orange Piccolo spends more time fighting Cell Max than Gohan does, right? And by the way, Beast Gohan has yet to return on a banner. If he his schedule, like if you look at all the other characters, he is supposed to return on the next banner, which of course would make the most sense if it was Orange Piccolo. So Orange Piccolo, if they want to make a Cell Max, and Beast Gohan all coming out on the same banner here, Part 2 of the 8th anniversary. Yeah, hell yeah, I'll take that. Let's do that. So, I mean, you know, movie bosses, with one of them being a Red Ribbon Army android, I don't know. Could it be that we're finally getting Cell Max in the game? We'll see. We'll see. But again, they gotta figure out a way to get this guy in the game. I don't care what it takes. I don't. He's got to be in the game. He has to be. Okay, the next thing I want to quickly talk about before we end is they did also announce that we're going to be getting a new equipment, unique equipment for a sparking non-Legends limited character. So up until this point, we saw this happen via, let me see if I can open this, via the Majin Buu Saga campaign, which is right here. So we saw an equipment come out. This is like not well organized. We saw an equipment come out for Fat Buu, the green Fat Buu. We saw an equipment come out for purple Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and then we saw another one for the green Ultimate Gohan. Where is he? Right here. If you guys realized, they're all Zenkai characters. Fat Buu's a Zenkai character, Super Saiyan 3 Goku's a Zenkai character, and Ultimate Gohan is a Zenkai character. So clearly, the goal with these equipment is they're trying to give these outdated and old Zenkai units a way to be playable again. That's really the thought process behind how they're designing these unique equipments. So I guess there's 2 ways we can look at this. First of all, we don't even know like what saga this is related to. With the Majin Buu Saga campaign, we at least knew it was going to be related to Majin Buu Saga, obviously, right? For this one, it would make sense if this was for a character from the Universe Survival Saga or Universe Reps related. But then we're getting these characters. So it's like, is this going to be part 1 related, or is this going to be part 2 related? I would probably say part 1 related, just because we're technically still in part 1 right now. But it's, again, I do think it's a bit weird that we're getting this. I will be interested in seeing if we're going to be getting a Zenkai this week. I think we should, which is a lot of stuff, because that means we're going to be getting 2 free-to-play characters, an equipment, and a Zenkai. That's a lot. This is supposed to be like an off week with no new summonable character. So we'll see how they do this. But if we look at the... Let me open like Universe Reps is what tag I want to look at here. There are 3 options that jump out at me when I looked at this earlier. So assuming they're going to be Zenkai characters, which I think they will be. I think Bergamo's a little bit too fast. He recently just got a Zenkai like this year, so I don't think he's going to get one. We have Kale, Red Kale, who, if you guys remember my showcase for Red Kale on release, she was like a top 3 worst Zenkai ever. She was terrible, awful, like actually embarrassing how bad this character was on release with her Zenkai. Awful character. We have Purple Caulifla, who's really old now, and then Green Cabba, who is really old. So like the Universe 6 Saiyan trio here. We have Green Cabba, Purple Caulifla, and Red Kale. I could see any one of these characters getting the unique equipment. I wouldn't really call any of these guys particularly hype, but I mean, any sort of help for these characters I think is fine. The only issue I have with all 3 of these units is their Z abilities are all terrible. And that's just because they're so old. Like, let's just take a look here. If this loads, I'm not sure if this will load. Okay, Kale loaded. So for Kale, her Z ability is Girls or Universe 6 Blast Defense. This is, by God, this is terrible. This is so bad. And then her Zenkai ability is Red Rival Universe. So I guess she technically she does Zenkai buff hit, right? And I guess casts are all at the same time. But I mean, let's be real, you're not, this is horrible. This is terrible. So for Cabba also suffers a similar fate as Kale. Green or Universe 6. I guess if you're running like a green red or a green yellow team, you could sort of make that work with this guy on the bench or something. I don't know. This is not good. This is not good at all. And then his Zenkai ability is Green Rival Universe, which at this point Rival Universe is pretty much just a worse version of Universe Reps. And then Super Saiyan 2 Caulifla, sort of a similar issue here. Universe 6 or Girls Strike Attack. And then she's giving Purple Rival Universe the Zenkai ability. So I'm going to tell you guys this right now. Looking at the list here, like what else do we even have here in terms of Zenkai units? We have Green Kefla, who again recently Zenkai, so I don't think she'll get one. That's it, right? We have Green. Yeah, Green Jiren is also Bergamo, Kefla, and Jiren all sort of Zenkai'd around the same time, so I don't really think they're in the running for this equipment. If it even is going to be Universe Reps related, we'll see. But I'm telling you, like, again, even with the unique equipment that the Majin Buu Saga Zenkai characters received, I didn't really feel that they were on par with a lot of the newer characters, even remotely. So I'm not really too confident about these characters' ability to do well. So at the end of the day, they just become bench units, but even bench-wise, these characters are not holding up to any modern character, even free-to-play a lot of the time. It's just like they're not, like, their Z ability and Zenkai ability mixes don't really work with each other. They're only buffing one stat. Like, it's a very weird situation for these characters, but these are the older Zenkais here, so if they're going to give these units, you know, on the Universe Rep team an equipment, it's probably going to be one of these 3. We'll see. But that's going to be it. We have again, just to recap real quick, the unique equipment coming to a non-Legends Limited Sparking character, presumably for Universe Reps, but maybe it's not going to be. We'll see. And then we have the announcement that the second free-to-play character is going to be Final Form Cooler. By the way, I do really like the art still. People are, I guess, kind of flip-flopping between whether or not they like the style or they don't like the style. I really do like this style. I think it differentiates the free-to-play characters from the rest of the game, and it's just a fresh take on the art style in this game, which is nice. I do like this. So yeah, movie bosses, it looks like, is going to be the theme here. Let me know down below what you think of this announcement. Who do you guys think is going to get the equipment? What do you guys think the part 2 character is going to be? Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you all in the next one.